Well, hello racing fans, and a warm welcome to our Gallop TV preview show for Saturday at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. It's Saturday the 20th, and it is a doubleheader. We're racing alongside Turfentine, so look out for that preview show with Alistair Cohen. But Graham Hawkins is on the line, and a nice build-up a week before one of the premier race days on the South African racing calendar, which is the World Sports Betting Met. We watched the live draw during the course of the week. And Graham, it's a nice build-up because they got a lot of racing on Saturday. I mentioned the doubleheader, but both centres, 10 races.
Lots of racing on Saturday, that being tomorrow, of course. We record this on a Friday morning, as everybody by now knows. So yes, excitement is building in the Western Cape. The weather is playing ball, very hot today, and summery conditions. There's a vibe around Cape Town and a great expectancy of a wonderful day's racing on the 27th. But first to the business at hand.
Yeah, nice to build a kitty over the next week or so, because there'll be lots to play for on Met Day. Carryovers galore. Trust you, the valued racing fan, as well. So let's get straight into it. Away we go, Graham. Race number one doesn't form part of the exotics. So with the 10 races, it will begin at 12:05, 1,000 meters. It's a work rider's maiden plate, and nice to see more of these races being put up in other centres around the country. We know that it's well established up in Gauteng. But the betting, as always, in single figures, Graham. Number one is at 2-1. Number two is at 7-2. 4 at 11-2, 6 at 5-1, and then we got a 22-10 shot here. Cops Sahuap, number 8, Snaith and Burke will team up. I don't know if it's a race that we can have a go on the head, or you'd rather play, bet like a trifecta or a quartet here, Graham.
Yeah, look, it's a thin start to the race card, only 8 runners, and Casino Ace certainly entitled to his position at the top of the boards. He was third behind Escarpment in a similar race a couple of weeks ago, and in that race he had number 4, Captain Cool, behind him. But then Captain Cool came out and ran 5th behind Amber Rock, and Carpser Whip was only 8th in that race. So the form does point to number 1, Casino Ace, but I suspect that number 8, Carpser Whip, who drifted last time, was slightly below best in that race. She gets the services of former professional jockey Louis Burke. So I'm happy to give number 8, Carpser Whip, one more chance, but it's not a race to get overly involved in. My tentative first selection would be number 8, Carpser Whip. Again, to beat number 1, Casino Ace, then number 6, 3 Coins, and number 4, Captain Cool. But you asked the question, I guess. You're going to have to play a small quartet per multiple times to try and get some money out of this race. But Carpser Whip and Casino Ace for me, the principals. Obvious improvement to come from number 2, Tams Knight.
Yeah, try and get it with the minimum spend and hopefully catch it times here. But numbers 1 and 8, the top 2 in the betting. Graham's hoping it's a form result to kick things off in race number 1. Race number 2 will start off the exotics. It will be leg 1 of the bipod. It's a juvenile plate over 1,000 meters. A lot of unknowns here, Graham. I just thought maybe I could, the form guide I'm using is the computer form. Maybe I'll just read this out for our viewers just quickly. Number 1, very speedy and will go well on debut. Number 2 shows good pace, touch too short, but should run a nice race. Number 5 possibly needs further. Horse number 6, nice type money chance. Horse number 7 shows good speed at home. Place chance. Horse number 8, nice call, doing well at the moment. And horse number 9, the Mike and Adam Azzy runner, should need the experience. Yeah, of all those comments, I think Justin Snaith's comment sounds most positive there, Graham. What number 2?
Yeah, as you said, it's a tricky start to the bipod with so many unknowns. But number 2, Impact Investor, is Snaith's runner, the early market leader. And as we always say with the first leg of the bipod, when it is a maiden juvenile plate with so many first-timers, allow yourself the luxury of putting your bet on as late as possible. Watch them go to the gates, watch the market moves. Impact Investor expected to run well. Vaughan Marshall's number 7, World of Pleasure, is already settled a number of 1 Worlds to win. This out of the very fast mare, Royal Pleasure. who won her first 3 starts as a juvenile. So I'm expecting a very forward run from number 7, World of Pleasure. Then number 9, Lead the Charge. I know that the Aussie comments are not that positive, but very well bred and could be anything on debut. Of course, they don't know what they're running against, so it's difficult for them to be absolutely bullish about their chances when perhaps they would rather be a little bit more reserved. I'm playing it wide in the first leg of the bipod. At this stage, numbers 2, Impact Investor, 7, World of Pleasure, 8, Banff, and 9, Lead the Charge. They all go in. I'm expecting the winner to come from one of those 4.
Just quickly, the betting, Graham, number 2 is at 2-1, and number 6 at 8-1, 7 and 8 are at 5-1, 9 at 3-1, and then there was Hollywood betting anti-post for number 5, Torres, 33-1 into 20-1. That's the betting proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets. Race number 3, Place Accumulator. It's a juvenile plate for fillies. The distance is 1,000 meters. The Place Accumulator starts sharply at 13:20. Horses in single figures, Graham. Number 1 is at 8-1, 3 at 9-2, 6 at 9-2, 10 at 8-1. And then the anti-post betting market said, thank you very much for the 18-10 on Barbalicious, and that has shortened to 12-10. And Graham, is this the banker in the leg 1 of the Place Accumulator? Is it a horse that you'll possibly start some all-to-comes if you are playing that bet on the day?
I'm very, very strong at number 11, Babalicious, the first of 2 bipod bankers for me today. So clearly a Place Accumulator banker. Ran second behind Sahara Cat on debut. Not too far away, 1 length behind her was number 6, Gimme Fabulous. So they both come out of the same form line, and they're both likely to improve. But Babalicious, the money's down. She's a very, very good-looking daughter of VAR. I'm expecting huge improvement and make her very, very hard to beat. Blowing in the Wind is a 3-part sister to Rio Carrari. Has every right to improve in the green zone. Caught the eye on debut and beaten less than a length by All Is Green. I suspect, though, that the Babalicious Gimme Fabulous form line is stronger than that of number 3 in the green zone. Watch the betting with regards to number 7, Show Girl, and number 10, Chakpori Can Improve, was beaten by In the Green Zone in their last meeting, and In the Green Zone was making her debut. So it's reasonable to expect number 3 In the Green Zone to confirm the form with number 10, Chakpori. But I like the form line behind Sahara Cat. I love the way that Babalicious ran on debut, and she's a smart-looking filly. For me, she's certainly a Place Accumulator banker, and certainly a bipod banker, and for me, in fact, the nap of the day.
Well, it is a 5-star bet for Graham Hawkins here in race number 2. The nap of the day, number 11, Barbalicious. And I must just add, really nice to see the silks of Team Valor International, Mr. Barry Owen and Vanessa and Anand Singh. When she made her debut, I was pleased to see those colors at the track again. Race number 4, 1,200 meters, maiden plate, fillies and mares. This is the start of the big one, and we've had a lot of percentage winners recently when it comes to the Pick 6 down in the Western Cape, and for that sake around the country. It's a tough bet to catch, as we know, and it's all about structure. So let's see if Graham can guide us in the right direction. Just use his numbers as a skeleton. 13:55 is the time you'll need to get this Pick 6 bet on, and we will start off with the betting. Single figures, number 4, 11-10. Here's one here, Graham. Number 5, Kyle.
Sorry, D's. Number 5, 11-10.
Number 5 is at 9-10 now, Graham. 13-10 into 9-10. Number 5, Kyalami Girl. Number 6 at 7-1. And then we got horse number 13, Pretty Precious, at 5-1. Now, Graham, 11-2, this horse, number 4, first masterpiece. I'll just double check that. But number 5, Kyalami Girl, Graham, I don't know how, we're going to read into this break, but I'll just give you the comments quickly. Race number 4 from Candace Bass Robinson. All she says, Graham, is a nice filly having a first run after a long break. So she doesn't tell us much there, Graham. All she's saying is that she's a very nice filly who we know she is what she showed as a young horse. I don't know the reasons for the layoff. It's 11 months, but with all due respect, when you assess the opposition, one would think that even if she's close to let's call it 80% Graham, she should make her presence felt in a big way.
Yes, well, I actually called Kevin Somerville, the Drakensberg Stud racing manager,
Brilliant.
mainly to find out about number 6 Charlotte Bronte, because she is the half sister to Charles Dickens. Just as we said farewell to Charles Dickens in the week, we say hello to Charlotte Bronte. So I was very keen to get a comment from Kevin regarding number 6 Charlotte Bronte, who's making her debut, the half-sister to Charles Dickens. And he tells me she's much more like her dam. She's going to take a little bit of time. She's going to need a test of stamina. So not a hell of a lot expected on debut from number 6 Charlotte Bronte, and she's starting to drift in the market. But they also have number 5 Kyalami Girl, as you've mentioned, second in the first 2 starts way back a year ago. She suffered quite a serious injury, but she's doing really well at home. And Kevin tells me that they are expecting her to go very close in a comeback run. The money is down. I think that speaks volumes. As you've said, the opposition may be limited. Number 3 Hampstead Heath caught the eye with a very promising 5th on debut behind figure 8, finishing her race off very strongly for the inform Adam Marcus Yard. Just in front of her was number 13 Pretty Precious. Just how strong that form line is going to turn out to be is open to question. So really it all comes down to number 5 Kyalami Girl. She's the second of my bipod bankers, and I'd be very happy to take my chances in the first leg of the pick 6 and make number 5 Kyalami Girl my banker in this very tough to catch exotic bet, as you've mentioned, carryovers all over the country. So Kyalami Girl will carry my hopes. I'm encouraged by what Kevin Somerville had to say, and I think they are expecting her to carry too much class for this field.
Well, that is it. I like the thought process here in leg 1 of that pick 6. By the way, number 4 is 16-1. I just checked that up. I think one of those pages were messed up there in my book when I was stapling it. But race number 4, Graham's all in with Kyalami Girl, now at 9-10. So you'll know your fate very early in this pick 6. You're either in or out leg number 1. And that could be the way to go. And then possibly we'll see how Graham sees the balance of the legs. 5 legs to go if you want to catch that bet. Race number 5 will be Jackpot 1, 1,600 meters, maiden plate for fillies and mares. Betting here, Graham, number 3 at 4-1, number 4 at 7-1, 5 at 7-1. This horse who's been a bit frustrating to follow, but I had a look at that last start and the replay of that last run. And I must add, I was very encouraged because she came from somewhere off and she's overdue now. She's trading at 9-2. That's lickety split. And then horse number 10 at 9-2. Graham, lickety split, how confident can you be? Well, you certainly can't, because she runs that way. And each time she runs, you can never be supremely confident with her putting her head in front. But, if you're looking for a roving banker, in fact, I'm going to take a chance in the place accumulator and actually bank her. But you'll be a brave man to, possibly go that route in a pick 6.
Yeah, I think she's had enough chances. These 8 starts for 4 seconds. She certainly has the form to win a maiden plate of this nature. She tends to get lost in the early stages of a race, as you've mentioned, and then finish off really well. Before her rather disappointing 6th last time out, but admittedly she came from a long way back. Prior to that, she had run 4 consecutive seconds. So she is proving costly to follow. This is not a deep field. She certainly has a bright chance and could fit the bill as a place accumulator banker and a roving banker, but certainly not for me a place accumulator, a pick 6 banker, because my top choice would be number 3 English Mistress. She's coming along the right way. She's drawn nicely. 2,000 meters last time. The only worry for me is that she steps back to 1,600 meters. She may be better over further, which could make her vulnerable in this race. So 3 English Mistress goes in. You've already mentioned number 6 Lickety Split. She's an obvious inclusion. I'd like to draw your attention to number 7 Saint Bridget. Good debut behind Japanese Rose. Then last time out in her 2nd start, over this track and trip. She was very badly interfered with in the early stages, dropped well back, finished off the race nicely. It wasn't a strong form line, but I'm certainly not going to exclude number 7, St. Bridget, who is the stable companion to English Mistress. Then you've got to throw in all, from a pick six point of view, in my opinion, you've got to throw in all of numbers 10, Basic Maneuvers, 11, Flamboyant Flyer, and 12, Fanny Kemble, despite the fact they're drawn wide. Lickety Split could get the job done, absolutely. English Mistress may not be negatively affected by the step back and trip. Those are the top two choices, without any doubt. Lurker in the pack, number 7, St. Bridget. But I think it could be quite a tricky little maiden plate where a number of them have chances.
It looks like a quartet you want to get involved in. You want to catch your race number 5, and all the best trying to narrow it down. Jot down Graham numbers and hopefully play around those in leg 2 of that pick 6, which is leg 1 of the jackpot. Race number 6, 2,000 meters here, Graham. Now, this race, there is some quality to speak about, and I want to get Graham's view here. Number 1, Gentleman Joe at 9-2, 2 at 6-1, number 3 at 7-1, number 4 at 7-2. Then we got horse number 7 at 9-2, and 8 at 33-10. Now, Graham, barring horse number 1, which is Gentleman Joe, the balance of the field, you just have to have a look at the number of days since their last win. And that is a big, big worry for me here, because any one of them could suddenly just pop up and win. They're all low on confidence, barring number 1, Gentleman Joe. So this race, it makes me very, very nervous, Graham. And before you even give your selections, I would suggest that if you say it's a field race for the pick 6, I would agree with you 100%.
I think it is typically a field type of race for the pick 6, because as you mentioned, it's a class 3 handicap over 2,000 meters, and not a hell of a lot to choose between the 8 runners. The only 8 runners in the race, but I'm going to take my chances and narrow it down to 4 runners. Now, I know your formula. If you're going half the field, you go the field. But I'm going to narrow it down to 4 runners. In numerical order, numbers 1, Gentleman Joe. Number 4, Tamarisk Tree. Now, Tamarisk Tree would have been my top choice, but the Dean Canamay stable is off the boil, and I have to turn at some point. Mears Harper ran another absolutely disappointing race the other day. Before that, USA's Open also runs in today's card. So the Dean Canamay stable, they've been off the boil now for the last couple of weeks, and we'll have to take Tamarisk Tree's competitiveness on trust. I do like the chances of number 7, African Torrent, and my first choice would be number 8, Cosmic Event. Slowly coming back to form. He's had 3 runs since May. The last run was a better run behind Pomodora's Jet. He's much more at home over this sort of a trip. Justin Snaith has got 3 runners in the race. Grant Van Niekerk rides this one for Nick Johnson. Not a confident choice. As we said, it's a very competitive class 3 handicap. To be entirely safe, you're going to get through, you have to put in the field. But I'm going to take my chances with 4 runners. The other 4, of course, do have chances. Night Ruler, you can never exclude. I'm not sure that Gainsford is going to be at his best over 2,000 meters, but you never know. Both Royal Watch and Coronation Time come into the race with chances. So yes, it is typically a field type race. My top choice would be Cosmic Event. But as you mentioned, Gentleman Joe is the one that's in current form, good current form, and from pole position, he should give you a good run for your money.
I like the thought process from Graham, helping us reduce the cost of that perm. We'll go with these 4 runners. The rule comes into play: 1, 4, 7, and 8. On to race number 7, which will start jackpot 2 at 17:45. There's 10 races carded. So, can you catch the jackpot races 7, 8, 9, and 10? It's over 1,800 meters, and the betting at the time of recording, horses in single figures. Number 4, Magic Verse, 28-10. Number 5, Weather King, that is at 3-1. Oh, sorry, number 4, Magic Verse, has been backed. Hollywoodbets, no more 28-10. 3-1 into 5-2. Number 5, Weather King, that's trading at 3-1. Number 7, Marshall Field, is at 3-1. And then we got horse number 8 at 5-1. 10 is a scratching here. Graham, just 2 points of discussion from me. The first point, as you would have noticed, and I'm sure you were going to touch on it, between numbers 5 and 7, Is the weight turnaround good enough to see Marshall Field reverse the form with Weather King? I think it's 4.5 kgs. And then the second one is, it's clear for anybody that is using any type of form guide that Grant van Niekerk is not riding number 4 Magic Verse. Any word on the ground that JP van der Merwe is now engaged to ride for Greg Bortz?
Yeah, that has been published. Dees, he's contracted to ride all of Greg Bortz's runners, so it's not Grant van Niekerk's choice that he's not riding Magic Verse. JP van der Merwe is obligated to ride number 4 Magic Verse. Greg Bortz has retained JP as a rider, and so wherever you look, you're going to see those sort of anomalies. Grant van Niekerk remains a stable jockey, but JP van der Merwe is the retained jockey for Greg Bortz. Yes, you spoke about the weight turnaround. So Weather King, Marshall Field, and Sudden Song all come out of that same race on the 30th of December, which was won quite comfortably by Weather King, a fast improving 3-year-old son of twice over. He's won his last 2 starts. But at the weights, he's certainly got a hell of a lot more to do to hold out number 7 Marshall Field and number 8 Sudden Song. On Wednesday, during the week, I used the term manufacture a banker with F8, and we got away with it. If you need to manufacture a banker in this pick 6 because there are a couple of tricky legs, then I do think that you could do worse than number 4 Magic Verse. I think his form lines may be stronger because of the weight turnarounds. If you're going to put in Weather King, then you've got to put in Marshall Field, and you've got to put in Sudden Song. Just to note that Holding Thumbs is scrap runs. Stakes next week. So Magic Verse for me, a reasonably confident first choice. You can't ignore Weather King because he might be ahead of the handicapper. He might be able to have, despite the weight turnaround, account again for Marshall Field and Sudden Song because he's a 3-year-old. The other 2 are older horses with limited potential for improvement. So Weather King is certainly on the upward curve. But I think that the form that Magic Verse brings into the race is stronger. And so he's my confident first choice. So he could be a banker number 4 Magic Verse. If you're not convinced, then you have to include all of numbers 5 Weather King, 7 Marshall Field, and 8 Sudden Song into the mix.
Yeah, I'm with Graham here with those 4 numbers. I've actually jotted them down: 4, 5, 7, and 8. And if you didn't know, and if you're wondering, well, Graham has confirmed it for you. JP van der Merwe, all the best in these colors of Greg Bortz moving forward, wherever they race, I would presume. Race number 8 is over 1,000 meters, and the betting here, Graham, hopefully things are going according to plan. We're nearing the end of the pick 6. We've got 2 more legs to survive. Number 1 at 6-1. Number 2 at 5-1. Horse number 4 is at 9-2. 5 at 11-2. 6 at 7-1. And then a 28-10 shot here. And I must admit that I looked at the race, and there's one-time winner who hasn't won for 290 days on top of the betting boards, carrying 61.5 kgs, is at 28-10. Any reason why this horse has separated itself from the entire field in the fixed odds betting market, Graham?
Not really, Dees. We thought race 6 could be a field race. For me, this is definitely a field race. It's a Cape Sea Stakes over 1,000 meters, and every single one of the 8 runners, or 9 runners, has got a chance. They've all got winning claims. And as we've seen before, it doesn't necessarily take big fields to create a huge pick 6 dividend. We've seen a number of race meetings where the fields have been small and still yielded a pick 6 carryover. And that's what I'm saying. It's key as to what you do with Kailami Girl in the first leg of the pick 6. It's key whether you get away with perhaps manufacturing Magic Verse as a banker in the previous race, because other legs are quite tricky. And while Lunch Money is my top choice because I was on him last time at a big price as an each-way selection when he ran 3rd to Axel, he's no standout bet. If you look at his overall form, as you said, a one-time winner carrying 61.5. Yes, it's a low-grade race. The average merit rating is 64. He's rated 73. But when you look through the opposition, there are not too many that you can discard. So I don't have a confident selection in this, the 8th race. My top choice would be number 9, Lunch Money, ahead of number 4, Swift Action, then number 3, Final Move, and number 5, Wiley Jack for the record. But would I be surprised if none of those 4 were to win? No, I wouldn't be, because I think it's a wide wide open race, and to be absolutely safe of getting through the pick 6 and, for that matter, jackpot 1 and jackpot 2, bearing in mind we have a 10 race card. Jackpot 2 starts in race 7. You have to have the field.
I like that a lot. The field here in race number 8, we breathe a sigh of relief here and hope for the worst result. That's if you're a pick 6 player, unless you really like something. I mean, we don't want to put you off. If you really like something, you're going to possibly go all in, or you're going to use the rule and narrow it down to maybe 4 runners to try and minimize your spend. But the safe route is the route that I'm agreeing with you. Times 9 will be that perm here in race number 8. Then on to race number 9, closing off the pick 6. This is over 1,200 meters. So, Graham, this race, number 3 is at 7 to 1. Number 4 at 7 to 1. Number 6 at 7 to 1. 7 at 3 to 1. Then we got a horse that's been backed anti-post on Hollywood Bets from 14 to 1 into 10 to 1, horse number 8. Pineapple Mint Green. Horse number 10, Trey Schick, is at 3 to 1. And that is it, Graham. It is double figures the balance. So with that banker in leg number 1, we're fairly covered in the next 4 legs, and we actually got the field to help us out, especially if we've dropped a few tickets and we get a nice result in race number 8. What are we hoping for in race number 9?
Well, again, it's a class 4 handicap for fillies and mares over 1,200 meters, but I'm not going to cop out this time. I'm going to put I'm going to nail my colours to the mast here, because I'm going to narrow this down. I really do like the chances of number 7, Give Me the Waltz. Number 10, Trey Schick, is an obvious danger. They ran against each other last time. Behind here, My Voice, Give Me the Waltz, ran 2nd. Trey Schick ran 3rd. I'm looking for that form line to stand up there at the top of the board. So I'm not expecting a huge result here, but there are 2 that I'd like to mention. Number 11, Girl Like Us, was 33 to 1 in the opening betting. I think she will shorten from that. She beat Pineapple Mint Green, who's finding betting support here on debut, and I suspect that she'll beat Pineapple Mint Green again. Forget about her run in the Ready to Run stakes. She was off the course. Everything went wrong. She was meant to run a couple of weeks ago, and there was a lot of talk about number 11, Girl Like Us, and she started to shorten rapidly in the market that day, but unfortunately was scratched. She was cast in the box and was scratched on race day. So I haven't forgotten about that talk, and I haven't forgotten about that betting support for Girl Like Us last time out, when she didn't actually fulfill her engagement. So I'm certainly throwing in number 11, Girl Like Us, at any price. And then Winter Frolic, Glenn Cotson has always held this Daughter of Water Winter in quite high regard. Now, she's been campaigning over 1,600 meters in her last 3 starts. She won a maiden over 1,400 meters. I quite like the fact that he's going back to the drawing board and starting all over again with her, because she tells me that she's got ability. She comes back to the 1,200 meter straight course, and if there was to be a real bomb to land, it could well be number 5, Winter Frolic. So those are the 4 that I'm throwing in. 5, Winter Frolic, 7, Give Me the Waltz, 10, Trey Schick, and 11, Girl Like Us. 2 at the top of the boards, 2 at any price. So I've given myself the opportunity with the favourites, and I've also given myself an opportunity to get a huge result.
Well, with numbers 5 and 11, you will have possibly the bigger dividends being declared in the pick 6. And yes, you're right, Graham. Number 11, Girl Like Us, Hollywood Bets did open up 33 to 1 and a shortening 20 to 1. So Graham has got a few nice roughies to close things off there. And before he touches on his selections, I've just jotted down his numbers just to give you a guide on a pick 6 that you could possibly play around. Leg 1, 5 a banker, by 3, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, by 1, 4, 7, and 8, by 4, 5, 7, and 8, by the field multiplied by 9, and just the 4 runners at the back, numbers 5, 7, 10, and 11. Take it over, Graham. Your suggested bet with your best bet, and of course a roughie that you've picked out.
Yeah, before we do that, a quick word about race 10, which is the last leg of jackpot 2. Obviously here, It's Raining William is a very, very short price favourite. D's at the weights, and then the conditions of the race are progress played. He should get the job done. For many, he'll be one of the better bets on the card, but I'm mindful of the fact that he was expected to do just that in a progress last time when running 3rd behind Prometeur. So you never know what It's Raining William is going to turn up. He's certainly entitled to be short in the market, but healthy respect for Gallic Dream. I'm expecting a better run from Jerusalem Rain. and Seeking the One can never be ignored. But now my buy pot for the day in the opening leg, which is that maiden juvenile plate. I'm going with numbers 2, 7, 8, and 9, taking no chances. We record early. If you're impressed by what you see going down, or if the betting market suggested that you can reduce that number, then by all means do so. Then banker number 11, Babalicious, for me, the best bet on the card in race 3. In the third leg, banker number 5, Kyalami Girl. She returns from an 11-month rest. I'm expecting her to make a winning comeback. And having chatted to Kevin Somerville, there is a lot of confidence behind Kyalami Girl, and she's shortened in the market. Then race 5. Yeah, I'm going really wide. Numbers 3, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12. 3, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12 in the fourth leg. The fifth leg, numbers 1, 4, 7, 8. We've mentioned those. Gentleman Joe, Tamara's Tree, African Torrent, and Cosmic Avengers, my first choice. The last leg of the bipod, numbers 4, 5, and 7. Magic Verse, Weather King, and Marshall Field. If you want to go lower, we have suggested that you could turn Magic Verse into a manufactured banker. Best bet, Babalicious in race 3. And as discussed when we went through race 9, my lurker for the day is Girl Like Us in race 9. Opened at 33 to 1, is now shortened in 20 to 1. I'm expecting that she'll shorten even further.
Glam, I had a plan, and the plan was to go to your bets and give me the pick 6, and we're hoping that it all works out. But if it doesn't, I was going to come back to race number 10 and said, can we get something back? Or if we're in the green, can we increase the profit with number 3, It's Raining William at the back? Because, you mentioned the weights, etc. At 14 to 10, the horse is trading, Graham. It looks like the race where he will be very hard to beat on paper. In black and white, is an absolute standout, isn't he?
He is, but he was, as I said, a standout last time out, and the lowly weighted Prometheer came through to beat him. Admittedly, Prometheer has come back again to flatter that form. On the strength of that run, he should have the beating of It's Raining William. That's on the run behind the beating of Seeking the One on the run behind Silver Operator. So yes, It's Raining William should get the job done. But I suspect there's more to come from number 2, Gallic Dream. And while Jerusalem Rain has been most disappointing in the Western Cape, it does drop down from the Guineas and a feature race before that into a graduation plate. So if Jerusalem Rain was to suddenly improve, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think It's Raining William is that reliable. He has the ability, but he also knows how to get himself beat from time to time.
Well, erring on the side of caution there in race number 10, but Graham has given us some food for thought for this card that we will be racing at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on the 20th of January, this Saturday. And he's given you a bar pot. I've given you a skeleton pick 6 from his numbers, best bet, and a value bet that he's picked out that's already been backed from 20 into 20 to 1 from 33 to 1. And all that's left for me to say is thank you very much, Graham, and hopefully the build-up over the week is a successful one.
Thank you, Dees. Go well.
Thanks to Graham Hawkins, and thanks to you, the valued racing fan. Hopefully it turns out to be a wonderful day for you at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, and you make a huge profit, find all the winners, and from the entire team, Gallop TV, Graham Hawkins, myself, Dees Dynan, until we meet again, you take care. Salani Garcia.